starting off with primer. This is the Hourglass Ambient Primer. It gives you a little bit of a glow and blurs imperfections, which is really, really nice. And then of course, the usual Vibrancy foundation. I promise I will use a different one eventually. And I'm just using a damp beauty blender to blend that in. Then I'm taking Max Prep and Prime, and this is in the color Light Boost. Very thin consistency, barely creases, or not at all, really just depending on, how you set it. So putting on the usual places, this is going to give you a nice, bright, highlighted effect in all the areas that you place it to make you look refreshed and wide awake. Going back in with that damp beauty blender, I'm just going to blend that highlight into my skin and stipple it in. Then I'm taking the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer, just popping that on the lids. I want my shadows to last all night long. Going in with Laura Mercier's translucent powder, put a little bit in the cap, and I'm going to set my whole face with this. So typically I'll do different colors for highlight and face, but today I thought the highlight was good enough and went ahead and set the whole face. Moving on to brows, I brushed them up with a spoolie, and I'm taking the NYX Tame & Frame. This is a new fave of mine. It's in the shade Espresso. This is a wonderful pomade that you can kind of maneuver depending on how much you put on the brush and depending on how heavy-handed you are. You can make a very natural brow with this, or you can make a very bold brow, which is really, really nice, and it does stay on for a very long time. So just filling them in as per usual. Going in with the shade Tempera from the Modern Renaissance palette on a big fluffy brush. And I actually left that in there. I wanted to show you what happens when you don't tap off the excess. And did you see all of that kind of dust off and all that fallout? So you definitely want to do that to make sure you don't get too much product all over your lid. Then I went in with the color Golden Ochre, the same brush, just to kind of intensify the color a bit. Then I'm moving on to Raw Sienna, and I'm using the same brush for all these colors because I don't want them to be too intense. So I'm building up the definition and intensity slightly, but because it's this big fluffy brush, it's not dramatic. Now I'm going in with a MAC 217, and this is a more dramatic part of the eye. So I'm taking that color Cypress Umber, and I'm popping that into the outer V. So what I'm doing, I'm just packing it on first, and then I'm going ahead and blending it out. So what I do is I blend it out on the outer V, and then whatever is left on the brush, I bring it into the crease. Then I'm going back into Tempera, and I just put it back on the fluffy brush, and honestly, I'm just using that to kind of blend it and make it look softer. Then I'm taking Vermeer and popping that onto my lids for a brightening effect. And I'm also going to use that as an inner corner highlight. Going back to Cypress Umber with this flat definer brush, I'm going to be taking a little bit of that color and placing it on my upper lash line and creating a very, very soft and subtle wing. Then I'm taking a small brush just to blend it out and make it look a little smokier. Then I'm taking that same color, same brush, and I'm just going very, very close to the lower lash line and just going from the outer corner to the inner corner. Let's put some color back in that face, shall we? So I'm using the Chocolate Soleil bronzer from Too Faced, and I'm just placing that in the usual high points of the face to bring some color back in and make myself look alive and like I have a sun-kissed glow. I'm going to skip contouring of the cheeks today, but I am going to take that palette that you just saw there, the Wet n Wild, and do very, very little bit contouring of my nose. Going in with that purpley color from a Tarte palette, I'm going to be popping that on my apples of my cheeks and then blending it backwards where I bronzed. Then I'm taking some Physician Formula highlighter in the color Pearl and just placing that on the high points of my cheeks and the usual places that I pop it on, my tip of my nose, that area of my nose, and a little bit right above my brow bone. Using the Marc Jacobs gel liner, I am going to tightline and place that on my lower waterline as well. And then I'm going to curl my lashes, and I'm placing Better Than Sex mascara on the top lashes. And I'm going to use my new MAC mascara that I love for lower lashes. Going back to shadows, I forgot to highlight my brow bone, so I am taking MAC's Shroom and just popping that under my brow bone for a beautiful highlight. Then I could not decide which color I wanted to use. But I eventually chose Take It Like a Vamp from Wet n Wild. It's a dark brown color, that's what it's described as, but it does come out, as you can see, kind of like berry colorish. Then I took large sections and curled my hair. If you want to see a separate hair tutorial, I will be glad to do one for you. Just let me know in the comments down below. Then I decided to go back in with Revlon's Coffee Bean just to make my lips a little bit less dry. And here is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed getting ready with me. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see future videos. And I hope you guys have a great day or night. See you next time. Bye, guys.